Well, good evening, fellow explorers, ether suckers, ether absorbers. I don't know. How you doing, Jen? How's it going?
Hello. How are you, John?
I'm
Nice
doing
to see
well. You're
you.
very your picture is very clear tonight. That's nice.
Good. I have, issues with things, with my tech. So
Your text looking good today.
good. That's a good thing. I had a little trouble earlier, but that's good. It just depends.
And you're not wearing any. That's good. Hey Casey, how you doing?
Hey, Casey.
Casey
How
says
are you?
one went down on my end for a few minutes and now YouTube. I keep
Oh,
have to keep hitting play. That's interesting.
okay. So it's affecting a lot of people, different issues.
Well, we are getting closer to November, so I could see a lot of,
Oh,
those little cabal puppets, those little deep staters. I could see little things happen here and there, just make it seem random for a while and then right up till the end, boom, the big blackout. What do you mean I can't get any information? Anyway, just a personal thing there. We won't go down that road today because, well, we just won't go down that road today. We're already going to get in enough trouble with memes at the end. So um, I hope you're all doing well. And hey, Julie, wow,
hey, Julie. How
it's
are
like we
you?
live in the same house or something. Um,
Nice to see you, Julie.
we have a lot of interesting things tonight. We're going to go over some things that we've talked about before because we like the 1800s. We like that kind of stuff. We like interesting, weird inventions. We like what does the resident say? Dog faced pony soldier. We like dog faced pony soldiers on this channel. Um, what else?
Right.
Oh my gosh, I found this image. I'm going to start with this because I laughed my ass off when I saw this picture, and
Uh-oh.
it's not like a meme kind of thing. This is actually, I think it's real. So
It's so hard when you don't know the line between real. I know what you're going through. It's like every
so we're
day.
we're gonna start with this picture here. This Frank Rocky Feigl is believed to be by some to be cartoonist E.C. Seeger's inspiration for the character Popeye. The photo was taken in the early 1920s. Dude, if that isn't Popeye, I don't know who else would be the inspiration for Popeye. Come on, seriously? Like he's even got the little anchor at his thing here, and he's got the pipe, and he's got the no tooth looking thing, and all he needs is a can of spinach to whoop ass. That I don't know. That when I saw that the other day, it's like, oh my god, I have to
Yeah,
show this. This is like
it's amazing how.
typical, like there
Yeah.
you go. Anyway, I love it. I just love it.
Frank,
Okay,
where was he from? I'm curious with the name Feigl. Where is that from?
that's
Is there a
a good question. Let's see.
origin for him? I'm just curious, like, where does he hail?
Frank, we'll say Frank Feigl. I spelled it wrong. Geigel. But of course, Google knew what I meant.
Oh, really good. Sometimes they do.
Ooh, this dude's kind of a character too.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
See, it's always leading to something like that's why I was curious because it's the name for me that makes me wonder what.
yes, Casey, ether suckers, like the free energy, free ether, free, like we absorb it through our skin, ether suckers. You like whatever, like not like vampires, but for the ether. We just, anyway. You get after you know me for a while, you'll know that I totally make shit up on the fly, and I just ether suckers is just one of those things. See, Frank Rocky Feigl. This is on a Popeye fandom website. He was born January 27th, 1868. Died March 24th, 1947. Was a real life person from E.C. Seeger's hometown of Chester, Illinois. Chester,
Really?
Illinois. So there
It has them from Chester, Illinois, being born in the 1800s here.
1868.
Interesting.
So there you go.
Okay.
Just thought I'd start out with that little Joanne. How you doing, Joanne?
Hey, Joanne.
Miss Piper's in the house. Since we're starting with funny pictures, I'm just going down this funny picture road right now. But again, these are all kind of things we talk about on this channel, you know?
Right.
This next picture is going to be you're going to laugh. You're going to laugh. I'm going to combine two words that you never thought you would hear together right now. Tennessee pygmies.
Oh.
Tennessee pygmies, folks. We got Tennessee pygmies in the house.
No
Let's
way.
see. Rustic rectangular stone boxes containing bones that seem to indicate that the deceased were not of normal stature. The boxes were small, 14 inches wide and 16 inches deep. So let me show you the little, here's the pygmy, Tennessee pygmies, folks, in their native habitat, Tennessee pygmies.
Interesting.
Some people would argue, well, they're just babies. Well, no, you could tell something's a baby by their bone density and some other things. And apparently these were not babies. These were Tennessee pygmies. So let's read this. A pygmy graveyard in Tennessee. I love it. A pygmy graveyard. I got to go see me a pygmy graveyard somewhere. Anybody know where there's another pygmy graveyard in Ohio? Anyway.
Wow.
An ancient graveyard of vast proportions has been found in Coffee County. It's similar to those found in White County. Wow, they've got all kinds of interesting county names. Coffee County, White County, and other places in Middle Tennessee. So that'd be by the old Nashville area. But is vastly more extensive and shows that the race of pygmies who once inhabited this country were very numerous. The same peculiarities, love that word, peculiarities of position observed in the White County graves are found in these. The writer of the letter says, and quote, some considerable excitement and curiosity took place a few days since near Hillsborough, Coffee County on James Brown's. I love it. James Brown was alive back in the 1800s too. Good old James Brown's farm.
Oh.
A man was plowing in a field which had been cultivated many years and plowed up a man's skull and other bones. After making further examination, they found that there were about 6 acres in the graveyard. 6 acres. That's a lot of graveyard. They were buried in a sitting or standing position. The bones show that they were a dwarf tribe of people about 3 feet high. It is estimated that there were about 75,000 to 100,000 buried there. This shows that this country was inhabited hundreds of years ago. This was a Woodbury, Tennessee press. I don't know what year this was, but so there you go, people. Pygmies in Tennessee.
Wow, that's fascinating. Very.
Never knew there was pygmies in Tennessee, let alone North America. But I guess why not Tennessee? Why not? Just put the pygmies there. That's all you know. Let's see. Casey says, let's see. I was laughing about either. Gotcha. Central, what is this? Hold on. Well, Joanne, you're sick. Why are you sick? Shouldn't be sick.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Joanne. Not feeling well?
And you know how we like the old inventions. This one I've never seen or never heard of. So I am it is called a propeller train. This was in Germany in 1930. Propeller train.
Hierfür wurde die nicht benutzte schnurgerade Strecke Hannover-Burgwedel hergerichtet. Vor der ersten Fahrt
der Stunde zeigt das Tacho. Fast lautlos rast der Schienenzeppelin durch den Morgen. Das Ereignis wird von Presse und...
Wow.
So yeah, it's a propeller train. You got a train that's got a propeller in the back.
Fascinating.
So
wow.
I had never heard or seen that before.
Yeah, all this lost technology.
And you look, I don't know what railway station that is, but look how old everything else looks like. Yeah, it's 1930s.
Mm-hmm.
You got this propeller train.
Right.
What, like who thought
Yeah.
was Elon's relatives alive back then? Was there this like a Tesla
I'm
propeller
sure.
train?
Yeah, I'm sure Elon's and Bush and all of them. Their people were all alive back then.
It's the old
Yeah.
Rothschilds Express to hell or something. It's or maybe Meatloaf. Was it Meatloaf? Yeah, Bad Out of Hell, Propeller Train Out of Hell. We got Meatloaf family back then.
Pretty much.
I'm in one of those moods
It's
tonight.
amazing. Like just looking at this. Yeah, Joanna, I hope you have a speedy recovery.
Yes, Joanna.
Coughing. Oh. Is it allergy season also, Joanne? Because I know coughing can be also the beginning of like ragweed, and they have the hay fever. I used to suffer a lot from those symptoms around this time.
Yeah, I do in the fall, especially when the leaves start dropping and stuff, and you start getting all that like mold on the leaves and stuff, and you start getting all the. Actually, literally from the time it gets like from like March or April through like November, I always have a runny nose or sinus problems or
right
extra phlegm. I'm constantly clearing my throat, constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll see me mute quite a bit during shows because I'm constantly clearing my throat.
Yeah, well, I think that's around that time for a lot of people. And then the post-nasal, sorry to talk about drip, can cause the coughing. A lot of coughing with that. So,
of course, we're going to talk about giants because we always talk about giants. Petrified 12-foot giant. I love the word petrified. The word petrified always catches my attention when I'm reading through stuff. Don't know why, just does. Let's see. And this was actually from the New York Times back in 1885. 1885. A petrified giant from the San Francisco Examiner. Victoria, British Columbia, August 5th. The body of a petrified giant. Petrified, mind you, not, like a normal skeleton. It's petrified. Has been found by two farmers who were sinking a well 10 miles from town. Its appearance closely resembles that of a human being. That's interesting. Its appearance closely resembles that of a human being. So this giant apparently was sort of like a human being. It didn't, not like the other giants that looked like humans. This one sort of looked like a human being. The head has the appearance of having been scalped. The material is as hard as flint, and the arms and legs are broken short off. I don't know who these writers are back then, but apparently those one-room schoolhouses weren't paying off. So let's see. The material is as hard as flint, and two arms and legs are broken short off. The veins and ribs are plainly traced. A party has gone out for the A party has gone out for the legs, arms, and hands, which lie in a hole. The man, when alive, must have been about 12 feet in height. So, and again, this is August 17th, 1885. I just thought that was kind of interesting. And
let me ask you a question. John, and anybody. Okay, this article is from 1865, the New York Times. Why didn't they have the New York Times in the 1700s or 16? You see what I'm saying? Why? It does everything seem to begin then. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yes.
I'm just asking the question. Everything seems to be like, okay, they were born in 18. You know how we were talking about that person, and you said they were born here. Why is it that everybody of note? You know what I'm saying? It's like they're all born then. all the writers, all the, you know what I'm saying? Like of this time period is really odd. Like, I don't know. I'm just wondering like,
We had Jules Verne and Mark Twain and
yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of it's true. I mean, it's not that we haven't had authors since then, but it seems like the start of the whole, and I'll use an 1800s term, fantastical quality of life kind of started in the 1800s. I mean, look, even like in some of the descriptions, not necessarily like the New York Times, but in some of the like the local papers or the smaller papers in some of these areas, the flowery, interesting language that they used really descriptive, unique words that were, you can kind of tell just by reading something, even if it didn't have a date, you could tell that it was from the 1800s just by the way that was written.
Yeah.
Sure. And to Jennifer's point a couple shows ago, you know, history's always portrayed women as being oppressed, blah, blah, blah. But we saw that electric car that was made specifically for women to have a night out, or, you know, whatever the case was, to go out on a town. And
right.
So there's something about the 1800s. There's something specifically about the 1800s, not necessarily the 1700s, not the mid 20th century, but the 1800s.
The 1800s. I keep calling the 1800s a person of interest. I just keep doing it. It's just like you said, the 1700s, they were unproblematic when it comes to certain things, but the 1800s, it's just too many things, too many moving parts, and it's like everything began or reset right there.
Yeah, it's just like somebody, pardon my French, it's like somebody stuck a stick up everybody's ass and everybody just started writing all funny and using big words and writing all flowery, and started talking about giants and started, you know, all kinds of inventions started popping up. And it was an interesting time. And I think there's a lot more to be discovered about it. And let's see if this is, okay. I wanted to go through a concept. And we've talked about this before, and this has to do with giants as well. And it's the idea, it's acceptance of giants. Acceptance, the word acceptance. Before our time, there was an acceptance that giants existed. I mean, flat out acceptance. Like there was no question about it. There was an acceptance. And these are just giants of North America. Say these are some of the clippings. You know, giant skeletons in the grave pit, dry bones of of abnormal size unearthed by workmen near Dayton. This is in Ohio, so I got one in my backyard. Look, we got giants in Ohio. The lost city of giants in hills of Sonora, Mexico. An explorer has found 34 mummies, each over 7 feet tall. But I just love the titles of these articles too. The lost city of giants. Like, no big deal. Like today, if you were to like publish an article like that in some of these rags, like the Times and Vice and all these, you know, lost city of giants. You guys are nuts. That people would think they were nuts.
Yeah.
Skeleton. They would think it was some TikToker doing some new challenge, the giant challenge or whatever. You know, it's like
right.
Skeleton of giant found at Juniper. Find men of Stone Age. That's an interesting title. That's again one of those one room schoolhouse guys, I guess. Find man of Stone Age. Gigantic prehistoric skeleton discovered by hunter near blah, blah, blah. Smithsonian gets huge Indian skull. Prehistoric men, 11 feet high. Tribe, one mound contains skeleton of 7-footer. Skeletons 8 feet high. Bones of prehistoric giant found near Miamisburg. So keeping that in mind, this was, hold on, what is?
I wonder, when did the Smithsonian begin?
That's a good question.
I'm just wondering, does anyone know?
I'm going to look it up right now.
We will? Okay, good. Thank you. Because I just started to wonder when you said this, I was like, okay, the Smithsonian.
1846.
Wait a minute. Are you serious?
August 10th, 1846.
The 1800s comes back up again?
Yeah, let's see Smithsonian Institution. Let's see. It says our history. We'll take a look at their history.
Yeah, I've never looked into them like that.
The Smithsonian Institution was established with funds from James Smithson. So I wonder where they got their name. Smithson, 1765 through 1829. A British scientist who left his estate to the United States to found at Washington under the name of Smithsonian Institution an establishment for the increase and diffusion of knowledge. On August 10th, 1846. The U.S. Senate passed the act organizing the Smithsonian Institution, which was signed into law by President James K. Polk. Congress authorized acceptance of the Smithsonian bequest on July 1st, 1836, but it took another 10 years of debate before the Smithsonian was founded.
Oh,
So apparently this is not a public entity. Has obviously, if Congress and the Senate had to be involved. Once established, the Smithsonian became part of the process of developing an American national identity. That's an interesting statement.
this is very. I thank you for doing this, John. I know it wasn't planned, but something
okay.
just made me curious about it.
Smithsonian became part of the process of developing an American national identity.
Oh,
So I hear that or read that as, okay, start of a narrative.
yes,
That's how I read it.
yes, I read it that way too,
IG.
John. Hey, IG, hola. How you doing? Welcome. Wow, I can't believe that the Smithsonian has evaded my stare or glare or my side eye.
Yes,
How did
yes.
they manage to do that, John?
I don't know. They did mine too. I just never really thought about it until now, until you brought it up.
Okay, now I'm very intrigued with the Smithsonian. I think I will be doing some research on them. Well,
So
thank you for the little foray.
Getting the spoon out.
Yes, I think it will probably have a spoon episode somewhere in there. I am fascinated with what you just read.
Well, here, this is interesting. Smith's son, the illegitimate child of a wealthy Englishman. Of course, aren't they always illegitimate childs of wealthy Englishmen?
Oh, wow.
Had traveled much during his life. This sounds like that dude that wrote or that was involved with what was that Norse thing that you read?
The Smoky God.
Smoky God, thank you.
Right.
Kind of sounds like this one of those kind of narratives. Let's see here.
Oh, yeah.
Had traveled much during his life, but had never once set foot on American soil. Why then would he decide to give the entirety of his sizable estate, which totaled $500,000, which back then was a lot of money, or 1/66 of the United States' entire federal budget at the time, to a country that was foreign to him? Some speculate it was because he was denied his father's legacy. Others argue that he was inspired by the United States experiment with democracy. Oh, geez, I got to put one of these in there.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
John, oh my God, that's awesome.
So that's where that came from. Some attribute his philanthropy to ideals inspired by such organizations as the Royal Institution, which was dedicated to using scientific knowledge to improve human conditions. Using scientific knowledge to improve human conditions. Smithson never wrote about or discussed his bequest with friends or colleagues, so we are left to speculate on the ideals and motivations of a gift that has had such an significant impact on the arts, humanities, and sciences in the United States.
Oh boy.
So interesting.
I think we have found a diamond in the rough. Trust me, I will be going down.
Yeah, I'll say once Jennifer gets her claws on that one.
Oh yeah. Thank you, John.
Oh yeah. Always here to help. So yeah, now my head's going around about it too. So I'm going to try and focus on the giants here. Hold on. I'm going to try.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
To,
I didn't know it was going to be that. I thought you were just going to tell me a year.
nah.
And then you read, and then it was like, uh-oh.
I just can't give years anymore. So remember a few shows ago, we talked about this dude here, Chang the giant, Chang the Chinese giant, Chang the Chinese giant. Well, if you look next to him, there's another giant, which is far bigger than Chang the Chinese giant. And he was huge. He was huge. This was the New York Journal, Sunday, August 20th, 1806. How the prehistoric man would look today, constructed by an ethnologist. Is this the ancestor of the American race? Discovery of an ancient giant's footprint in British Columbia raises an interesting question. And it gives all these giants, like, again, like it's like no big deal. Like we know about all these different giants. So it gives all the heights of all these different giants. And you've got Chang the giant, Chinese giant, and this dude that left this footprint in British Columbia. So based on the size of the footprint, this is what they estimated this dude to be. Looked like Fred Flintstone, but but real, I guess. Yabba dabba doo.
And all of this giant,
idea what this is here, but
all of this giant talk was big in the 1800s as well, right? A lot of this is dated.
Yeah, this is 1806. This is early 1800s.
So that's also interesting that giant fever, can we call it giant fever, was going on
Giant
in the 1800s?
fever.
What do you want to call it, John? We could probably come up with something good.
Giant fever. I love that. That's a good one. That's
or
let's
we
see.
could call it giant what's the other thing? Giantorama. Giantorama.
The fantastical gigantical mystery tour or something.
Right. Exactly.
Bee Gees will be headlining.
I'm just saying, what is going on with the 1800s is getting really.
I'm telling you. I mean, they even knew about Chang the giant back in 1806 in the United States. So this dude was like, not only was he popular, but apparently everybody knew about him. And I love these other titles of some of these articles here. Tenements of the Ocean. Sponges that are hives of industry with streets and alleys. Whatever that means.
Wow. That's fascinating.
Interesting. But see this, it says heights of all the giants whom we know of. This was in 1806. Look at them all.
That we know of.
That we know of.
Could this have been, everybody? Can we just, I got giant fever. No, need more cowbell. There you are, Julie.
I'm going to have to make a
Giant
video with Christopher
cowbell.
Walken and replace and put giant fever in there instead
Giant
of whatever.
cowbell. Okay, listen, everybody, are you ready to go on a real, like, you will feel like you dropped a mushroom, okay? Please go with me into the outer edges right now.
Yeah, where's Karen? She could pass some stuff around before. Whatever.
Could it be, family, that all of the giants, like the Hittites and the Jebusites and the Horebites and all of those people that we heard about in the biblical narratives that we thought happened a long time ago, could it be that it happened in the 1800s? I'm just saying, without you throwing tomatoes at me, could it be that these people that we're seeing, that suddenly all these giant, talk, could have been a war between, the flood happened a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Sooner than we think. Biblical days were so far in the past, where I'm now trying on the possibility. I've heard people say it before, but now it's making more sense that all of this stuff could be more contemporary than we think. Is that a weird, like, yeah, outer limits? Is that an outer limits concept, or
No,
what do you think?
I think that we have to kind of, based on everything we keep finding, have to throw out the concept of dates and times and stuff. Like there's no baseline. There's nothing to measure from that we can believe in. So there's no, like with any other scientific, investigation, you have to have some kind of a baseline to start at to be able to go forward or backwards. And it very well could be, because if you read a lot of the biblical texts, canonical or not, often referred to things happening or that were supposed to happen, especially the prophetic stuff. It's always written in a way that, like, they were always expecting it to happen soon, like right now, soon.
That's a good point.
Like they weren't waiting thousands of generations or hundreds of generations. They always thought, okay, well, the Messiah's coming in my lifetime, my generation, whoever was writing it thought this stuff was happening in their lifetime. At least, hey, Tina, how you doing?
Hey, Tina. Hello.
So it wouldn't surprise me that if you take like Bashir's information and his chronological theories that he has with the vapor canopy and the red and the mud floods and that kind of stuff, and we're finding that, we'll just call them mainstream historians for lack of a better whatever, have been removing and adding time at will, like, and just compressing things to make things make sense in their narrative. So like, oh, well, like I could just see these people sitting around a Starbucks back in whatever 1800s or whatever 1900s and just kind of, that doesn't make sense, Jimmy. You gotta add about 300 years. It's not gonna make sense. All right. I'll add 1,000 years. How's that? How, you happy now, asshole? So I have a feeling that, because when you look at like how quickly that when we closed in on the 20th century, they tried to get rid of all the old architecture with all these great fires, like in San Francisco, Chicago, and all these major metropolitan areas. They always seem to have these great fires. Yeah. And they always coincidentally made it worse by trying to blow these places up because they thought they could help stop the fire, like put a fire break in, but instead they made the fires worse and they ended up destroying the buildings. Hey, Molly Moose. In the
Molly. Yeah, we're all like on this, what you're saying, John. We're all tapped in. Like, this is so exciting.
What I'm putting down.
What's that?
I said, you picking up what I'm putting down? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, what about this as a concept too, John? What do you think about this? Okay. It seems like a few people in the chat can see it, that possibly a lot of this stuff that we thought happened so far away could have been a lot more contemporary. Now, could this also be something that's kind of far out there too, outer limit stuff, that the reason why all of the history that seems to matter began around the time of the founding of America? Do you see what I'm saying? It seems that America's destiny literally is the center of this world system right now. And I'm not saying it to be, we Americans. I'm not saying it in that way. I'm saying from a spiritual standpoint, this land here, we're told to look elsewhere, all over the place, but it's here that is the real key to understanding, I believe, prophecy. Where I used to follow people that would say that, America's not in prophecy because you can't find America in prophecy. Well, that never sat well with me. It didn't make sense. I was like, why would a country, a nation so prolific that rose up out of seemingly what? Right. How would it not be in biblical prophecy? Do you see what I'm saying? Because I know people rushing the borders of the Middle East trying to flee into Israel. I'm being honest. Do you ever people fleeing from here and everywhere going to Israel. The only people that go to Israel are people that are making aliyah, maybe like it's a specific group, very niched. But in terms of everybody, and they call it a dream. This is the only nation
Yes.
I've ever heard that's referred to as a dream.
Yep.
What is going on, everyone? I think that we have been duped so badly, like worse than we even think.
Tina hit it on the head because we've used this in the past. We've made this connection. Like they always say founded. They always say founded. Like
Always.
Not built, not whatever. It's always founded.
We caught
But the way she put it,
lie.
they found it. So it's funny we're talking about this.
That's right, Tina. Tina, we've been tracking. And then what John just read, I don't know if you were here, Tina, for when he read about that person that it said, no, the Smithsonian. It said, oh, they did it, but then it always, they have a lag time of 10 years. Have you noticed that? They'll say, oh, well, this university was founded, but they didn't really get it started until, and it'll be like but they won't use the term built. You're right. It's very bizarre.
Yeah, there's
oh, interesting, Julie.
Says, don't some religions believe Satan started to rule in 1914? Then perhaps the giants united with us pint sizes, and then there had to be a reset. Well,
interesting.
It's funny because I knew we were going to talk about this. So this picture, I love how I love the 1800s pictures. I love the caption too. Would you have guessed this is Chicago in 1893? Like if you didn't know what date this was.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look at this architecture. Would you have believed that was 1893 in Chicago?
It speaks to something that it's almost like this is the last bit of we have to see that we've been duped like this bad. I think we're all kind of like, no, it can't be. It's just too much, right? To think that this time that we're in is so behind whatever this was. And another thing that I wanna suggest that when you look at a lot of those really mammoth statues, a lot of them were solid gold. Yes. We had a lot of gold.
Yes.
And this is the gold, I believe, that was stolen. This is the trust that I believe is tied to God Almighty. If you can go with me on such a bit, like this is huge. We've been told to look there, look there, look there, when it's been here all along. So all of this, the loot, they looted this nation and they pillaged and pirated everything and they burned it down. Like you said, look at the crime that happened here. They looted the gold. They lied and had narratives.
I don't know what gold you're talking about.
They've been doing this for a long time. Look at what they did in 9/11. Suddenly, Cheney says he lost, right? $7 trillion.
$3 trillion almost.
Like this is all the same kind of stuff. And then what?
And then everybody forgot about it the next day.
Yeah, they are wizards. They get you to look at something else. They can tell you their crimes. And they're confident that we won't care. We're like so asleep.
Yeah, Casey, you're absolutely right. This is how I feel right now. It's like because of technology and everything. Oh shit! Everybody's finding out stuff. Everybody's waking up. It's like, dang it! Where's the button? We got another. Where's the reset team? Where's the this like Men in Black? They have to go like the neuralizers or whatever. They go around and except. That wouldn't work because they don't want the population that high. So they'd have to figure out something else to do a reset. And,
it's too late. They can't pull one off. I mean, I went into Target or where would TJ Maxx the other day. And, I don't see any signage anymore that tells you that we had a pandemic. Have you noticed that? All the signage.
People have quietly been backtracking on that because they know they're the minority and they know that most people have woken up to the BS and they don't want to be on the receiving end of any backlash. Like that whole you know, we're not involved. We didn't, just like the whole Nuremberg thing when nurses and doctors were like, well, I was just doing what I was told. Like, well, you're still accountable. You're
Yeah.
still,
This is going to be bad when they realize it's so bad that anybody who was a part of it and knew, like, that's the thing people don't realize. God knows that a person knew that it's no hiding from God. Like, I tried to warn people about that. Like, they thought this was a dress rehearsal. I don't know. They pulled off another heist 2020, and
just gave
now,
me
like
another
you said,
segue, just FYI.
yeah, now you're saying they're walking it back because they realize the heat is on. As they say, the block is hot. But at the same time, the way they're stripping it all down, real sneaky. It's almost like in the middle of the night. Let's take all the. Remember they had you stand on those little foot things.
Yeah.
I don't see them
to,
on the.
Jennifer's point, we see you. We see you. We see you, Target. We see you, Walmart.
Yes.
We see you, Amazon.
Uh-huh.
We
so
see
you've
you
noticed
guys.
it, huh, John? A
I've
lot of it
noticed
is
it.
like.
We still have a couple people around here. Like last couple of days have been a little unnerving for me because I almost have PTSD. I saw somebody today. They were driving erratically, like they were changing lanes without signals and stuff like that, and they were going slow in a fast lane, this and that. And of course, when I got up next to them, they both were wearing masks in the car.
Yeah.
And I saw somebody today riding a bike. It was a student at the college here, and all the other students from what I've seen since school started, including high school, like nobody's wearing masks. There's this one kid though today that I almost ran over because he came across, like I had a green light, but he decided to go through ride his bike across the road. Of course, he was by himself wearing a mask, riding his bike. And I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. So anyway,
I saw it like
gold,
yesterday, John. I am just sitting in the car and I opened up a snack. I was right outside Target. Just opened up a little bag of snacks and I opened up the windows and I just wanted to watch people just going back and forth. Like I was telling them earlier, a woman, she had a mask on in the car by herself. She was on the phone and she was backing out of the parking spot. I can't make this up. I'm not that creative. She was on the phone with a mask by herself in a big van, backing up in a Target parking lot with children everywhere. Do I need to say more?
Anchor babies. Anyway, speaking of gold, as soon as you started, it was funny. You started talking about missing gold.
Oh, wow.
I have this in the folder for today. This is interesting, and it's worded the same way. Should Britain return Africa's stolen treasures? Davina Morris examines the ongoing debate over Britain's acquisition of priceless African artifacts. It has been estimated that more than 90% of artifacts of African origins are not in African continents, according to various researchers. These artifacts left Africa in different forms during the colonial period. Gee, I wonder when the colonial period was. I shit you not. I think the colonial period went up into the 1800s.
Oh yeah, you're right. No, you're absolutely. I mean, yes, of course.
They were either stolen, looted, or acquired under questionable circumstances. Of course, they would always be questionable circumstances in various markets. Furthermore, there are indications that they were taken during attacks by European colonists using gun powers. I think they mean gun powders. I love that. I've got me some gun powers here. Julie says colonial America is 1492 through 1763. So I stand corrected.
Colonial America. But what about the colonial? What is it they're saying? Colonial Africa or colonial? I wonder.
Because that's a different time period in Europe, like in.
I'm wondering. That's all I'm saying, Julie. I wonder if it syncs up because I think that's also
because India was involved in that as well. Because there's the British colonialism in India, in addition to all these in Africa and all these other, like, well, that's how South Africa got founded, was during this period as well, I think.
Right, because there was no Africa. That's another thing I'm starting to realize. The term Africa is very contemporary. That's not what all of that particular land was called, and it wasn't all cohesive, because Ethiopia, I talked to Ethiopians, they don't consider themselves to be a part of that whole, you see.
Yeah, British colonial rule, 1858. There you go. I knew it was the 1800s, 1858 to 1947.
Oh my goodness, Julie, look at that. And that's the one that counts because of all the like this stuff.
This is what relates. This is what it relates to me, is that, and again, the 1800s, we go back. I love this picture. This is what caught my eye with this picture. This dude's sitting there with a clipboard. He's sitting on a pile of gold. It's just like, he's just sitting there like it's no big deal. He's got this warehouse full of gold.
Yeah.
Look, it's hard to see, but it's the Queen of England with her little hat on, in literally a warehouse full of gold. And
unreal.
So
that's the only way they could have done it, by theft, pirates. Wow, the nerve.
Yeah, we can do a whole show just on that period of time, and the British Empire and their conquests, so their attempted conquests of certain areas of the world.
Right.
Something caught my eye here.
You know what, John, that I actually, did you play this? Tell me if you played this, because you play so many good things, but I have this memory of a short video of a young Brit, and he was talking about how the shores all along the coastlines, how they are all affected. He said it was because of all the colonization that his nation had done, that it has like eroded all of their beaches. They can't even go out and enjoy the beaches anymore because it keeps eroding and eroding. But this young man he just had the real like wisdom to say it was because he believed it was directly tied to all the colonization and the theft and everything that the UK has done. So was it you, or has anybody heard that? Because it was powerful to hear a young, like, this guy was either late teens or early 20s saying this about his nation.
I don't remember seeing that video.
It wasn't you?
No. At least
Maybe
I don't.
I can find it.
I don't think
because,
so. I don't remember it.
Yeah, they showed the eroding beaches and stuff. And I think that's interesting that he would tie it into what they did as a karmic thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. No, I've heard of something similar to that. I don't know if it was the same person, but because there's a lot of what I'll call old-blooded Brits that have never left the area, like their families have been there forever. Yeah, because a lot of Brits, having grown up around a British family that lived across the street from me in Ohio when I was a kid, I learned a lot about Great Britain and why they left and why they didn't stay there and why they saw more opportunity here. But one of the things they talked about was like it was common for people in the North or anywhere in Britain was to go on holiday to one of the beaches, like to one of the coasts, to, and even back then in the 80s, when I would talk to them, that the idea of losing, like, the vacation spots were getting fewer and fewer, kind of thing, like as far as on the coast, like
oh really,
to go on holiday,
right?
They're still there. They still go on holiday to the coast, because I still have friends that live in the UK, but I guess it's more of a treat now than it was before. Like, it's not as common, I guess, as it was.
Interesting. Yeah. Fascinating.
Bye, Don. Molly. we're gonna have we have a couple meme videos with Bai done here at the end of the show. So funny you should bring that up, but we're not gonna bring it up now because we don't want to get kicked off just yet. So going back to the Giants, I found this interesting. Again, I cannot give up the Giants for whatever reason. I just can't give it up. This is Prussia. If you guys know Prussia, you know Prussian King Friedrich's army of giants. I didn't know he had an army of giants. The most beautiful girl or woman in the world would be a matter of indifference to me, King Friedrich Wilhelm the first of Prussia once said. But tall soldiers, they are my weakness. So you can take that a couple different ways. So
Oh my.
so obsessed was he that Friedrich built a whole regiment of giants during his 1713 through 1740 reign. Certainly life was good for the giants. I love that. Just a casual statement like that. Certainly life was good for the giants. Friedrich made sure they never, they got the life. They're the OGs, the OG giants. Friedrich makes sure that they never went to war. If I had an army of giants, man, you'd be the first ones in there. He made sure they never went to war. Instead, he would order them to march through his quarters while he lay in bed.
This guy, are you kidding? He sounds like he's going to be Me Too'd in the next paragraph.
However, rumors, I wonder how the rumors started. Rumors that he tried to make them even taller by stretching them on racks. Hit morale hard. You think? It hit morale hard. And so after a while, new recruits were obtained through kidnapping.
What is this? It sounds like The Onion.
It sounds like it's modern times now. That's like
nothing new under the sun. Wow.
The king also set up a breeding program, like their animals. Set up a breeding program to produce a new generation of fighting giants. Unsurprisingly, few shared the king's obsession. His son, Friedrich the Great. Wow, there's a title for you. I'm going to put the Great after my name, too, just so you guys know when you see my name on the bottom of the videos, say John Hogston the Great, Jennifer Eason the Great. You guys are all great, too. You should put that after your name.
Yeah, anybody can do this. I'm glad you figured it out.
So his son inherited 3,200 tall men in 1740. They weren't giants, they were tall men, but had the unit disbanded. As I could imagine all the weird stuff going on that he had that unit disbanded. But some of these images are interesting. Here's like these normal looking dudes, these taller dudes, and then these giants over here. It's like three different levels of, people here.
Wow.
And
Molly said Molly Moose the Great. Oh, IG is asking about Negrita. Oh, wait. Negrita is still scared to go outside, you all. She will not go outside.
Really? What'd you do to her?
No, I left her outside one time and I had to run back in. And when I came out, a branch almost fell on her. And she's been ever since, like, she won't go outside anymore. But she's doing good. Thanks.
Jeez. Poor kid.
I know, right?
And here's something we could talk about that applies to today. Found this thing on the Stockholm syndrome.
Oh.
And for those of you who don't know, I'm going to read what it is. Karen, it's about damn time.
Hey, Karen. Meet me.
That's 2 weeks in a row you're in the back of the class. Jeez.
Karen, your friend Negrita is afraid. She will not go outside, Karen, by the way. Karen helps with helping me to understand Negrita because, she won't go outside, though.
So Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome is a condition that causes hostages to develop a psychological alliance with their captors as a survival strategy during captivity. Stockholm syndrome is also commonly known as capture bonding. Formerly named in 1973 when 4 hostages were taken during a bank robbery in Stockholm, Sweden, there are 4 key components that generally generally lead to the development of Stockholm syndrome. Number one, a hostage's development of positive feelings towards their captor. No previous hostage-captor relationship. A refusal by hostages to cooperate with police forces and other government authorities, and a hostage's belief in the humanity of their captor. This is the point that got my attention, is the hostage's belief in humanity of their captor. Look at what happened since 2020.
Yeah.
A lot of people have this one symptom specifically for sure. The belief in the humanity of their captor. They cannot believe that people would lie to them.
That's right. That's powerful what you're reading, because that's it in the nutshell. But at the same time, to not believe when you see evil, I believe is evil in itself, because anybody who hasn't awakened to what happened in 2020 is like, I can't imagine anyone not even questioning anything, right? How would that be possible? The emojis.
All right, Karen, to get yourself back up front, you got to start passing it around to the audience, to the chatmosphere there. We'll come back to you in a minute. So that passage there is very Stockholm syndrome.
It is.
So,
look at how people still like Dr. Fauci. Like,
it's a cult. It's a cult. It's the literal definition of a cult.
I saw a woman. Did you guys see? I shared it last year. She had a menorah. You know the menorah for the holidays? It was Dr. Fauci in the middle. He was the big candlestick, and then she had vials of the jabs for each other. Like, it was a menorah for Hanukkah. It was made out of the jab and Dr. Fauci. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, jeez.
Let's see. She says I was on a police horse stable field trip.
This is a funny story. I was on a police horse stable field trip one time in second grade, and the tour guide told us if we stepped in the horse manure, we'd grow 2 feet and be giant.
Wow, is that how it happens, Julie? I never heard that. That's creative. That'll make kids really think twice. Huh?
It's coming up on Thanksgiving. We usually hear that story around then, so I'm glad you brought it up early.
I love it.
She did believe it. Well, if you believe that, when we were kids, you remember the whole thing? Like, if you ate the watermelon seeds, you grow watermelons in your belly.
Yeah. Yes,
same thing.
I believe that. I believe my aunts would tell me that, and I was like, oh.
That's right, Karen.
Yeah, they made you believe all the seeds would grow. An orange tree would grow.
Right.
All kinds of things. Yeah.
I seriously believed that when I was a kid.
Right.
Because my dad, I didn't realize this until probably high school, but my dad has a dark sense of humor. So he didn't like smile or laugh a lot when he told jokes. So when he said stuff like that, like about the watermelon seeds, I believed him. I had no reason not to believe him.
Right. I mean, why wouldn't you? My dad told me some funny stories too that I was like, really?
Karen, I'm short, so I would have been stepping in all that shit.
Karen keeps saying she's short, but you know what? I think you never know when you just know people online, but Karen has a tall personality, right? You don't seem short, Karen. I don't.
It's like big bone. She's got a tall personality.
I don't believe you, Karen, that you're short.
So, point is, Stockholm syndrome, a psychological phenomenon in which hostages express empathy and have positive feelings towards their captors, sometimes to the point of defending them.
There you go. This is America all the way towards Nazis.
America has turned into Stockholm.
Totally. Wow.
Okay. IG, yes, John seeds were good for us, but they scared the crap out of us. That's right.
Yeah. Remember,
so I got really good at spitting them.
But we're bringing up something that culturally we may be like one of the generations that remembers having seeds in all of our food that had seeds,
yes, absolutely.
right? We weren't the
Yes.
seedless people. That happened much later, right? Seedless stuff.
What do they call them? Heirloom plants, like the plants that still have seeds that you can
Yes, I love heirloom.
harvest and be able to, replant. So
Yeah, I love.
we're the last generation of heirloom plants,
Interesting.
vegetables,
Yeah.
whatever.
And that says a lot too about even how they've jabbed people so much with more progressive things, and people have become less human in the way they behave. They're more, bot-like. So we're those, or we're GMO, right? We're non-GMO. They're GMO. Yeah. Heirloom.
Squirrels are my heirloom tomatoes.
I love heirloom tomatoes. I just love everything about them. Yeah.
Yep.
That's right.
I remember even my mom, she showed us how to dry seeds. Like she would
Really? Oh, nice.
yeah, she'd like do it with tomatoes and cucumbers,
nice. Wow.
like dandelions, and like what are those orange flowers? Like they have an orange center with a black dot in the middle. They have like little like daisies. Is that what they are?
Oh yeah, daisies. Oh, they're pretty. Yeah.
So we'd have you'd always be able to go to the store and you buy those little pack of Gerber seeds, like the little. You get them for free at gas stations if you bought. So like with your green Eagle stamps or whatever.
Yeah, they did used to give you seeds. Isn't that interesting? They did give you seeds. What a nice gesture. We should start that again. Like you get seeds instead of other things. Like, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, before Bill Gates buys up all the farmland in the United States.
Well,
plants all those banana trees.
I used to be mad about that, but you know what? Let him buy it all up, because you know what? He's putting judgment on himself. Because this land, actually, to be honest, it can't be bought, only leased. It's the way a trust is set up. You can't sell. Yeah, the black-eyed Susans. My mother loves them. But do you see what I'm saying, John? You can't sell a trust. Trust land can't be sold, only leased. We're going to find a lot out about this nation and the land, everyone. I'm sorry, but it's just me.
I just snorted. Karen makes me snort sometimes, but yeah. I think the same way when I go into Trader Joe's. It's like I'm glad I'm not the only one.
I miss Trader Joe's. We don't have them here where I am. I miss it. Because
I used to
here. I used to do better when I would compare my shopping costs.
If shopping carts about this big, like
But if it was just me and my daughter though, John. So like for just us, I made out better going to Trader Joe's. I'm not kidding. It was.
Of course, now my camera's not focusing because I had to stick that thing in front of me.
Oh, we've got to get it back to its balance now. Oh no.
One moment, please.
Okay, sure. What happened? Yeah, you teach us what to do. I don't know what to do in those instances.
I'm still here.
Yes, I hear you. Oh, we got weird, Molly said. Trader Joe's got weird after Kofifi. It used to be fun. I used to go to Trader Joe's hungry, like a hostage, and they would have those little samples. That would get me through being hangry, because I would go by and you just slither by again. You're like, hey, I want to taste it again. I think I need one more thing. And they let you could get a whole meal. You know what? And then they have.
I did that in regular grocery stores when I was a kid. Because they would always have some old lady or some PTA woman or someone at the end of every aisle with some kind of kielbasa thing or some kind of whatever with their little their little crock pots and their little frying pans and everything.
Yeah,
and
they can do some of those people are so talented. Can we give them a shout out? Yeah. They're cooking on electric skillets and they're making whole meals.
So I would literally go through. Yeah, they do. I would
Yeah,
literally go
Molly.
through, sample everything, and that would fill me up. I'm just like, then
Yes,
I'd go,
that'd be good.
then I'd
And
go get some free, wait here, free grapes and stuff like that in the produce section. And
but you know what it would also do when I would go to Trader Joe's, this was like a regular thing. I'd go and eat, I'd graze and eat. They'd have apple cider poured, all kind, whatever it is, limeade and coffee. You're right. And I'd have a coffee after my meal. And guess what? I would
it's like a
not
homeless
shop.
shelter.
I would not shop as much because when I would go to a
Mhm.
store hungry, my daughter would roll her eyes because I end up buying everything. I'm buying flan every time I'm
Flan.
hungry, flan.
Flan.
And she hates it. She hates it. She's like, I know you're hungry because you're buying flan. That was an indicator that I was famished if I have flan in the cart.
I would always, it would help me, it would keep me from doing and buying stuff like this.
It takes the beast, right? The savage, and just says, get down, savage, and stop buying everything in this store.
It's specifically Necco wafers. I absolutely love Necco wafers.
I have never had them. What do they taste like?
Oh my God. I can't even, it's hard to describe. They're
Are you
heavenly
serious?
to me.
Is it like fruity? What?
No, they're not fruity.
Them. They're not
They're
fruity.
hard. It's like the size of a penny, or maybe a little bigger, like a nickel. And they're about as, they're not quite as thick as that. So they're hard. They're
Okay.
crunchy. And they have like powdered sugar on them. So there's like a little bit of a powdery feel to them.
Oh, really?
And they're different flavors, like chocolate and I can't remember what the other flavors are. I just know them by colors, like
Right.
purple, pink, brown, and so whatever they're supposed to be. And
Molly says they're pure sugar chalk.
yes, they are.
They double as chalk, Molly, because I have never been like drawn to those. I would see them because remember the real old fashioned candy stores that were still
yes.
around when we were little. In West Philly, we had a lot of cool ones, and all the candy brands. It was so many, and I remember that one, but I've never like wanted to taste it for some reason. I don't know.
And then my other weakness, it's hard to find these now. These are super hard to find. Is mallow cups.
Mallow cups.
Seriously, these are hard to find. I don't know why.
Wait a minute. Tina said that first one was basically just crack. That would be like you just taking the sugar and just pouring it in your mouth, huh?
Yeah, Tina, basically just crack. Yes.
We should talk about old candy one day. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Remember all the I like those wax things. I love to chew on wax and just the ones that had the
The one
little
that had the fluid in it, like
little fluid, and you just bite it off and drink. What was
I
that?
never knew what to do with them. I tried chewing those with the fluid in them. Like I didn't know they were wax. And I tried to eat them. I'm like, oh, these taste like crap.
You know what I like doing that reminds me of it? Now, this is real hippie-ish. You won't be surprised, but I like the cone in the honey. Have you ever gotten the cone in the honey? And I like chewing on the honeycomb, okay? I'm sorry, I'm really weird. Yeah, wax soda. They would have the little soda pop. This is funny. Okay, I've taken this all the way off.
That's okay. We will do a show on. We'll do a show on not only old candy, but like just childhood favorite stuff, like things that bring you back to your childhood and what made it fun.
Yeah,
you know,
and the origin, because you'll find the rabbit hole in it all. Because I bet all this candy, like all these candy companies, I bet they were all started in the 1800s, right?
They had candy cigarettes. That's where my
candy cigarettes. That's when you know that you are really doing it, when you're out there. And remember the smoke, it would be the powdered sugar, and you're like, just want to smoke. Why do kids want to smoke?
I don't know, but it got me in so much trouble because I quit smoking just before I met Julie, so about 7 years ago, or whatever it
Oh,
was.
good,
And
good for you.
I was the kind of kid, I mean, I got hooked on smoking so fast. By the time I was 23 years old, I
Oh
was
no.
smoking Marlboro Reds without the filter.
No, please, no.
That's what I smoked for years. So anyway, yeah, I wonder why I got phlegm all the time and I'm always clearing my throat.
No.
So
wow.
here's another thing that I'd never heard of. Julie will like this one if Julie's still on. You'll like this. When I saw this picture, it blew me away. It blew me away. Never heard of this before. Euperlite. Who made up that name? Euperlite is a new crystal that was recently discovered in Lake Superior near Michigan.
What?
In 2017.
Oh boy.
So at first glance, it looks like a regular stone, but when you put it under UV light, it glows like as if it were on fire. Euperlite. I love that. Euperlite.
Interesting.
Euperlite rocks are actually cyanite rocks that are rich in fluorescent sodalite. These glowing stones can be found on the shorelines of Lake Superior, the beaches near the Grand Marais area, as well as the all these Indian names up there. Keweenaw Peninsula and Whitefish Point are great for searching for euperlites. Mom, Dad, can I get me a euperlite? I want to be a euperlite. Aren't those beautiful?
Wow.
I mean, to me,
Very,
like
very.
it looks like little molten pieces of magma. If you're like Austin
Yeah,
Powers,
that's what I was
magma.
thinking at first. I was thinking, yeah, definitely something.
Yeah, I knew she'd like it. I see a Christmas gift in the form of a necklace and a bracelet.
That would be cool.
Sure you do. I'm sure
That
you
would
do.
be really cool. Wow. So it has to be under UV light, like so. Whenever Julie is
Sunlight
out,
would be the case.
so when Julie is out in the sun, that would be enough UV to. Oh wow, Julie, we're gonna have to see you in this necklace that John gets you for Christmas. Everybody, did we all get an amen that's going to be Julie's gift for Christmas?
Yeah, they're probably so rare that like only a few people have ever seen them or something. It's like I'm going to be like on the quest for the Holy Grail, but the Monty Python version.
No,
Tina,
we know a guy. We know a guy, right? We got to hook up. We
know a guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, Tina, that's true. Why did we think it was cool to have those candy cigarettes? You know why?
Right. I
Because
don't know why.
DDT was cool for to spray on kids for bugs too. Because back then the doctors recommended smoking to pregnant women like it was no big deal.
The doctors would smoke in the visits, and also remember they had smoking ads a lot.
All the time, everywhere.
Yeah, interesting. So no wonder. Those are beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, I've never Euperlite of all things. Euperlite.
Fabulous. So it was discovered that
2017.
So this is Lake Michigan.
Superior.
Lake Superior. Okay, Lake Superior. Wow. Where's Lake Superior, everybody? Can you all tell me? Like, I forget all of my lakes.
It's north of us. Like we have Lake Erie just north. We're along the coast of Lake Erie. Okay. Then you have Michigan kind of to the northwest of us. Mm-hmm. And then on the coast of Michigan, you have Lake Superior. So let's see.
Okay.
One of the Great Lakes.
Yeah. So it's more on the Michigan side. I'm familiar with, of course, Lake Michigan because of Chicago. But all the Great Lakes, interesting.
So Lake Superior is up here on the border of. Well, it's actually not even. It's more Minnesota, like Duluth. Like if you were to go up to Duluth, Minnesota, up here where the ships come in, Wisconsin, and then along in Canada, along Ontario there.
Wait. Tell me this again, John. You said ships come in there?
Yeah. Well, I lived in. I don't know if you knew this, but I lived in Minnesota from like 98 through 2005.
Okay.
And I was helping open a new store in Duluth. And this is, of course, in the dead ass coldest part of the wintertime. And Duluth is like the Arctic. It is cold in the wintertime. Like you have to have engine block heaters on your cars to be able to start your cars. Like you got to plug your car in at night to keep it warm, the engine warm.
Wow.
So, and you can't, like when it's when I was there, it was literally, it was, see, it was -5 degrees with a
Oh,
wind chill of -40 degrees. And
yeah.
we were in downtown Duluth, and we were at I think it was called Mom's or Grandma's. It was someplace like that.
Mhm.
And hockey's big, obviously. And we were watching the University of Minnesota take on Wisconsin, I think it was.
Mhm.
And I had to run to my car, which was literally right across the street. To go from the door of that place to my car, which literally, took a few seconds,
Mhm.
I felt like my throat was on fire. That's how cold the air was. Like it literally like froze like the lining of my throat because I breathed in too deeply. Like you
Wow.
have to wear a scarf. Like you have to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I didn't even wear a jacket because I thought it was gonna be a second. So I ran and but
Oh,
that's how
boy.
cold it was. But in Duluth,
Wow.
there's a port. I mean, a big time port for ships
Oh,
that come
yeah.
into the Great Lakes. Yeah. So
So,
that was like,
okay, where they can come in through I never thought about big ships coming in through the Great
yeah,
Lakes.
yes. Yep.
I never thought
Absolutely.
about it being like that kind of thing where they would have of course they would though, right? But they can come from all
There's
like I guess what is the major air body of water that it feeds into like
I
that
can't
would
remember the name of it. Well, let's see here. Hold on.
oh wow.
But it
This
goes out to the east, to the Atlantic. Like
to the
this,
Atlantic. Oh, so they will come in through the Atlantic and get oh my goodness, everybody.
yes.
This made human trafficking seem even oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Hold on, let me
Sorry
ask
for
Google
bringing up
here.
a bad thing. Sorry for bringing it down a few notches, but I'm just saying now I see. Oh my gosh. So they come in through the Atlantic and through the Great Lakes. Ay, ay, ay. All of the port, portals of entry when you think, oh my goodness, this country.
Of
I'm
course,
only
we're going to Wikipedia. All right.
okay, yeah, I do it. I mean, it's just
uh,
always funny. I look at Wikipedia as like this is your friend that lies all the time, and you're like, they're gonna
St.
lie.
Lawrence Seaway. That's what I was trying to think of. St. Lawrence Seaway.
Oh, I've heard of that. St.
Yes.
Lawrence Seaway. Gotcha.
So it's called the
Okay.
Great Lakes Waterway, or GLW, is a system of natural channels and artificial canals which enable navigation between the North American Great Lakes through all of the lakes, are naturally connected as a chain. Water travel between lakes was impeded for centuries by obstacles such as Niagara Falls and the rapids of St. Mary's River. Its principal civil engineering works are the Welland Canal between Lakes Ontario and Erie, and the huge Sioux Locks between Huron and Superior. Dredged channels were constructed in the St. Mary's River, the Detroit River, Lake St. Clair, and St. Clair River between Huron and Erie. Let's see. Usually, one or more U.S. Coast Guard icebreakers help keep the water passage open for part of the fall and early winter, although shipping usually ceases for 2 or 3 months thereafter. The St. Lawrence Seaway allows navigable shipping to the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh,
So,
boy.
yes, you can get from the Atlantic Ocean to anywhere in the Great Lakes. That's like here in Cleveland, we have one of the largest ports for iron ore and like for the steel industry. Because Cleveland used to be big time steel along with Pittsburgh.
Right.
Like this whole area was blue collar,
That makes sense.
steel companies. And
Oh yeah.
I'd watch the big, and you still see them. They're giant iron ore ships coming in and leaving,
Oh
and
my.
so
Oh boy.
yeah, I mean huge industry from the Atlantic to the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
But that's also part of the problem because you have these seafaring ships in saltwater that pick up in their ballast water, because we had a problem with zebra mussels for a while because when they would release their ballast water in the fresh water in the Great Lakes, they would introduce life forms that weren't native to the Great Lakes. So we had this for the longest time, like this, we probably still do, zebra mussel problem.
Okay.
So, and there was like this fish, like this carnivorous fish that got introduced to the lakes too, that would eat all these other fish. And
Oh
so
my
populations of fish would start to die out because they would always eat the young of these, the perch and the walleye and stuff like that. It's just,
It's interesting how it throws off so many things. Like The zebra, whatever, are they not edible?
I don't know 100%. I don't know if they are. I've never had them. I don't know if anybody personally that's had them either, but
Fascinating.
the ports
Oh.
to the portals.
The portals. Yes. Yes. Yes.
The Marlboro Man was so cute. I had to try them.
But you know what, Casey? That's probably why a lot of people did. A lot of girls and now guys.
Well, you remember you had really, they went to the nth degree with advertising in the 70s and 80s. You remember when Ricardo Montalban, he used to, of all companies, he would advertise like the Ford Granada. And it was Corinthian leather, like, so when Ricardo Montalban would say Corinthian leather, however he said it, I can't imagine. You had Ricardo Montalban talking about Corinthian
I loved
leather.
him, Ricardo Montalban.
Ford freaking Granada, you had Corinthian leather. And it's just, all leather's the same. It just comes from different cows around the world. When people say it's Italian leather, it just comes from Italian cows. They're the same freaking thing. It's all advertising.
Think about the marketing. Like, you're right. I'm glad you said that. What?
It was basically like vinyl. This Corinthian leather was hard as a rock. It was like
Corinthian
vinyl.
level. Whoever was the brilliant person that thought that up, imagine what kind of person they were.
Hey, Ma, I want to get me a Ford Granada with that Corinthian. I don't know, but Rico, he talks about that leather. It's got to be good. I'm buying it just for that. I don't care what kind of engine it has, what kind of mileage it gets. I want that Carico, whatever kind of leather he's talking about. I want that.
The Carengio leather. Because it'll be a relative of yours that always gets it wrong.
Right, exactly.
It's always one in the family. You're like cringing every time they say something.
Yeah, well, I was lucky to escape the South. I was the first one to be born into my family outside of the South. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, everybody. Well, when I was a kid, everybody in my family still had a little bit of an accent, except me. I had a proper Eastern English accent.
Eastern English.
English.
Ohioan.
That's right.
Ohioanini.
As they'd say down in the holler down in Virginia when we go visit. Y'all from Ohio?
I love it.
When I first heard that, I had no clue what, like, Ohio.
That's a place out in Cali, Ohio. That's where they have little spas out there. Ohio.
Yeah, well, we were from it's like I don't think they meant it to be as a negative thing. Like they were like, oh, you live in that nice state, like you don't live in this hole that we live in, like this holler that we live in.
Oh God.
You guys are like the Jeffersons, like moving on up. You're in that Ohio.
You're George and Wheezy, right? You George and Wheezy them.
Oh my gosh.
You were flossing and flexing on your family down in Virginia, John.
Yeah. There's a lot of them down there too, and hopefully they're not watching this because they'll come after me.
That's awkward. I hope nobody watches my stuff. I talk as if no one in my family or friends watches my stuff.
I can almost guarantee, with the exception of Julie, I don't think anybody that I know watches it. So, as by the statement of 8 viewers right now, I could probably.
We're safe. I always feel like I'm safe. Nobody that would be of I never name names really, but it would still be awkward if they were watching.
Yeah. So back to the whole idea of we've talked about this on another show about the old dog face people. Some people, they must, like giants, there was an acceptance of them because people talked about them as if they were real and like they were not a myth. Like this dude named, I love this name, Ratchramanus or Ratramnus. a Frankish theologian of the 9th century, in his Epistola de whatever Cynocephalus, which is what these dudes are called, cynocephali. Remember we had that song, that rap song or whatever, cynocephali. Wrote to his superior asking whether these creatures should be recognized as belonging to the human race or to a race of animals. So if you're in the church, why would you write back home and say, hey, should we be including these people as humans or animals? He favored a human designation, but wanted confirmation. What I found compelling about the Ratman, however you pronounce his name, dudes, you guys got to have simpler names. That's all I got to say.
Yeah,
if you want people in the future to pronounce it on some YouTube show, you got to have a simpler name.
Yes, please.
So use your crystal ball. Talk to Nostradamus. He'll tell you.
Use your crystal ball.
So let's see. Ratman's letter is not his description of the creatures, but his more practically believable concern for his religious duty of converting them to Christianity. So this dude, all he was concerned about was like, if they're people, can we convert them to Christianity? So that's why he was writing back to the church. Thomas of Cantimpré, appealing to authority, quoted Saint Jerome when verifying that the cynocephali were actually beings. He wrote of them in Liber de Monstruosis Hominibus. God, people, you're killing me. Liber de Monstrus Hominibus Orientis. Like he's trying to give it these things a scientific name, like a Latin name.
Right.
Like monitored lizards, for example.
It sounds so made up now, doesn't it? I think that this is all narrative too.
It says he said the head of a dog otherwise looked human in its form and behaved like a man, being peaceful, that's good, when not provoked, and vicious and retaliatory when provoked. Sounds like Joy Behar. Holy crap. Let's see here. I love these hand gestures right here. Like modern day, like when you see people doing this, or, you know, like, hey guys. I mean, when that commercial Mr. Microphone from like the 80s, like,
oh yeah, Mr. Microphone. That was funny. Mr. Microphone. Wow.
Where's I had these pictures broken down.
Yeah, Tina said this stuff is so staged, right? It's so weird because it's all illustrations. I'm starting to wonder about their illustrations. I'm crying foul right now. I think they had a form of Photoshop, like something that we
Photoshop.
I swear, like something we can't even imagine, you guys. Like they could make it look old. Like they're playing a joke on us right now. It's just another style. It's a booklet she had. I swear, this is just Photoshop.
Yes, Molly, it does look like Anubis. This is kind of the direction I was going in here.
It does look like Anubis. And Snoop Dogg looks like Anubis too.
Don't even get me started on Snoop Dogg, the most racist person on the planet.
Well, he's dating Martha Stewart. You heard? They're now going public with their relationship.
Well, you know who Candace Owens is?
Yeah.
You know who Kanye West is, obviously.
Oh, yeah. What is this that they, I hear people saying that this could be something Kanye's doing to help get attention away from Kim. She's in trouble.
Well, no, Kanye is actually, he's kind of been on a last few years of like a road of his own awakening. And, but I think I've mentioned this before. I love Candace Owens. She's just so straightforward, straight shooter. She's a wonderful woman. Mm-hmm. Calls it for what it is.
I love her.
Doesn't matter whether you're black or white or whatever. She'll call you out. But during this period of like the whole Orange Man bad thing and the whole running up to the 2020 election, she was defending a lot of people and pointing facts out to people about just life in general, not just about the election, but just life in general. Right. And some people in the black community, of course, started calling her Uncle Tom, and everybody that comes out against them is an Uncle Tom. So if you have conservative beliefs or values or whatever, and you believe in common sense and you believe in truth and you don't think white man is bad and orange man is bad, you're an Uncle Tom, you're whatever.
Oh,
So
yeah, Mammy. There's
Snoop,
a Coon.
yes, and that's where I'm going with this.
Any conservative that is melanated, black, whatever you want. I say brunette now.
You know, at the beginning of the Brady Bunch, like when they'd show all the kids in the little squares and the parents and everything, he posted that picture, but it had all of these black conservatives, including Candace Owens, in the middle. And the title of it was called Coon Squad.
Who did this now?
Snoop Dogg. It was called Coon Squad. That was the title of it.
Wow.
Ever since that day, that put the final nail in the coffin for that bastard for me.
Yeah, that's really that's so hateful. So hate, and that was the stuff they were doing like in 2020. They were coming at, black conservatives like with those kind of words.
But Candace Owens and Kanye West blew up Twitter. They blew it up because they walked into an event with this White Lives Matter shirts on.
Oh, that's what I saw them trending, but I didn't know what it was. Because
they blew up Twitter because all these people were having a meltdown.
Where were they going, John? What?
I don't remember where this was, but
this is what's going on.
So this is yes. I just of course happen to have the picture you're talking about.
This happened today, John.
I don't know if it was today. It was recently. I don't know if it was today.
I see their names like together. I didn't know what had happened. I knew they were friends and everything, but this explains it. They went somewhere with these.
Yes, Molly. God bless them. Absolutely, 100,000%. God bless them.
Wow.
So there you go, folks. That was the hubbub. But
really? So that's the thing that it broke the internet today. Looks like
I absolutely love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Well, usually his wife is breaking the internet, showing her booty, but this is definitely something different that's breaking it. Interesting. Interesting.
This is interesting. We'll go back to that. We'll go when we go to the memes. We'll go back to that. But I want to talk a little bit about between the 1600s and the 1800s and electricity, and think before Tesla. So I came across this. I'll show these individual pictures here in a minute. But this is all a collage of fireworks display celebrating the end of the 30 Years' War in Nuremberg in 1650. Some very interesting things going on in this painting by Michael Hare, or her. We can see the use of what these electrified swords are displayed at some of these people cannot write. So this is before Tesla, but I want to show these images, these actual images from 1650.
Wow.
So here's the big picture. This is like the whole image here with the fireworks. You got all these people down here, and you have all of these things going on down here, and you have these people kind of standing around this central object here. So it's hard to see what's going on there. So when you take that central object here.
All
right. So see this thing right here? I don't know if everybody can see that. This thing right here.
Yeah.
See how it looks like it has electricity coming out of it?
Yeah. Like it looks like a mirror or something, right?
This is the Tesla coil. Before Tesla, you can see the coil, the wrapping, the windings. Yeah. See these people right here? They're holding swords, but see how these swords are shooting spark like are you and these two are fighting. See, these two are fighting. You can see like the electrical sparks coming. So the way a Tesla coil works is it transmits energy wirelessly. So if you're grounded and you have a metal object.
Wow.
So if this was the Tesla coil here, everything within a certain area would have wireless electricity transmitted to it. So you have these people just playing around with these swords because they're becoming electrified, and they're discharging these little lightning strikes at each other.
It looks like the stuff from the what is it? The lightsabers, right? Doesn't it look
Yeah,
like
right. This is from 1650. 1650.
wow. That's
You can clearly see these lightning strikes, like this electrical discharge coming from this Tesla coil to these swords that these guys are carrying. It reminds me of Jen's Antiquitech shows.
Oh,
Yes, Antiquitech.
right.
That's right.
It's so much of that, Molly. Like John finds some really rare stuff. Like this is rare.
Hey, look at these dudes. You got these just like this electrical discharge coming off their swords, and you can tell that they're having fun with it. They're like, like kids, like he's like now with the fake lightsabers, going around. But this is like real stuff here.
Yeah, you could really get a nice charge out of life, huh?
So this video, I found this video too that is the same concept. They take like a Tesla coil, and they got this dude in this suit, so he's grounded. So he's grounded, and he's got a samurai sword. So, and this kind of depicts what's going on in that picture.
It looks like Kanye West fashions he's
We
wearing,
don't
doesn't it?
actually know what's going to happen.
Oh, good.
Okay, so you didn't catch on fire. Let's keep going.
Wait, Julie? Thought you couldn't take pictures and
The metal heat attracts for us because it's connected to ground.
Whoa.
See this here? Remember that picture? See the arcing to that
oh, wow.
from the end of this sword.
Yeah.
And you can always tell it's a Tesla coil by the sound it makes. I don't know if you can hear that buzzing sound in the background.
Yeah, that's how it is. That's how Tesla stuff sounds.
It is such high energy that is just.
It's probably a healing in it just listening to the buzzing, right?
But it allows for transfer of wireless, just electrical energy to a pretty decent distance. And I don't know what the absolute distance is for different size Tesla towers, but
I love
if you look on the internet, if you go to the old Google, you could find a lot of people who've created Tesla coils, and they'll go to different parts of their house and they'll hold a light bulb in their hand, and the light bulb will come on when they turn the Tesla coil on, and it will not be plugged into anything other than holding it in their hand. And you'll see tons of videos of that stuff. So Tesla, and it actually before Tesla, obviously in the 1600s.
Wow. Amazing.
This caught my eye too. We'll end with this and one other thing, and then we'll do some memes. So since we're talking about the South and we're talking about the pygmies of Tennessee, let's go to South Carolina now. The lizard man of Scape Ore Swamp in South Carolina is an entity said to inhabit the swampland of the region. First mentioned in the late 1980s, the purported sightings and damage attributed to the creature yielded a significant amount of newspaper, radio, and television publicity. So I'm going to show these individual. This looks like Will Smith or something when he was a kid. It's like, what? You say what? You got no lizard man down here?
Oh no! So he was the one that discovered
here. Yeah, no, that's not Will Smith. His name's Christopher Davis. He just looks like the Fresh Prince, that kind of look he's got on his face.
Yeah, Christopher Davis. Interesting.
He experienced an alleged 7-foot tall lizard. Let's see. Bumps in the night, ? Lee County seeks lizard with bad attitude. I love that title. Lizard with bad attitude. It sounds like a Bon Jovi song. Oh, that's Bad Medicine.
A lizard with
bad attitude. Bad medicine. Yo, man, I saw this lizard last night, and he had a bad attitude, man. I'm telling you, he had a bad attitude. Damn, he had a bad attitude.
Does that even look like a bad attitude on a lizard?
He stuck his tongue out me and everything, man. He had a bad attitude. Tried to claw me up. Hit me with his tail. Shit, he had a bad attitude. Of course, here's an actual photograph of the event.
Okay. All right.
From-
He's getting in his car with haste.
Yeah, he's like, man, this live's got a bad attitude. I got to get the hell out of here.
Imagine fumbling for your keys back then.
That's a woman's expression.
I love it.
And the title up here just says lizard. Just lizard.
That's all it has to say. Lizard.
And Shirley Way, her name was Shirley. Shirley Way says car was attacked.
Oh no, by the lizard.
Car was attacked by that bad lizard, that bad attitude lizard. That's all I gotta say. That. So can you imagine, like,
That lizard did have a bad attitude.
some
It's
speculate
messing up
that
people's personal
foxes
property.
are to blame.
Oh. What was the damage to her car?
I don't know exactly. I couldn't read. It's like the print is too small. I couldn't get it clear. There's another eyewitness photo of the. Looks like he's pulling his ear. Looks like he's pulling his ear.
He said an eyewitness photo. Eyewitness drawing, everyone. Can you imagine the art school? I said this is like the art schools that you see on TV.
Yeah.
You can learn to draw
Look.
history. Learn to draw history.
He's like, come on, man, push down that window. You don't need that window. You some bad lizard. You got a bad attitude, lizard. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here.
He really does have a. He has chicken feet too, by the way.
Yeah, it's like some kind of bird foot, like chicken foot, turkey foot, whatever you want to call it. There. Have you ever looked at like a turkey foot, man? They're like prehistoric looking, like scales and everything. They like.
Oh, gross.
He's put a velociraptor on top of them things, and you would never know. Let's see. I laid in bed after the storm, saying to myself, "Such a conspiracy theorist." What's going? What I miss here?
What's happening, Molly? Is a storm going on in your area?
My kid said the turned on during the storm when she touched the pole. Oh, this must have been an event that happened.
Oh, I
Had
see.
a massive. Here we go. Had a massive thunderstorm last night. Sounded like nothing I've heard in 47 years.
Oh.
Lightsabers above.
Oh wow. Oh boy.
Interesting.
I like storms, but
I love storms. I absolutely. And here, 1920s. I don't know how I found this, but Julie and I were talking about Model Ts, or we saw a Model T or something. Something came up, and I found this video, and listen to what the guy's saying, because this is an ad for a 1920 Model T. Listen to what this dude is saying.
Car that takes you anywhere you want to go. The Model T. Strong, sturdy, with a will of its own.
You're serious?
You can even go on some big ass pipe, man. Look at that. This
What
is like the first
commercial.
off-roading commercial. Think about like Jeeps and stuff like that. And they talk about, look at, I'm
This
driving
is
my Model
awesome.
T on a big ass pipe. I'm driving my
think
Model T on a
about-
railroad.
It becomes a train. It's like I like this thing.
Four-wheel drive in the wintertime. I felt like I was watching a Little Rascals, just like I
That
felt
thing
like
had good suspension, but rough. But I'm saying it was able to go through all that rocky. Oh my! This is
see this
very-
person standing right here. I feel like this is what made me think of Little Rascals. Like they had,
Yeah,
I love that big punching bag thing that would come out like on that arm, like it'd come out the side. They would like hit the
I
person.
love that. That's
what
so
I felt like.
Funny. Amazing.
So if you got to run away from Bigfoot, you can go across the river.
And look how this is video footage, everyone. Videos.
Yeah, this is like state of the art, man. This is like
It really is like
for
whoever
the 20s.
You have to
20s.
think about who is the videographer. They have to be in another vehicle, right?
or standing there hoping this thing ain't gonna flip over on them. It's like, look at that thing. Just
But they get different camera angles, is what I'm saying. This is actually really more sophisticated. It's similar to what they do now to get angles. Like
Dukes of Hazzard here. Look at that, man. Just Daisy Duke.
Like, how are they doing this, everyone, with such primitive technology?
I still like that. Just in case you want to drive up on a big ass pipe, you can do it with in a
How do
Model
you
T.
get that angle right there, John? How do they get that angle look right there? Where is the cameraman to get that angle? That's
Hey,
amazing.
Leanne Clark, how are you doing?
Hey, Leanne. You had a crazy storm in western Colorado last night. Weird lightning and thunder. Whoa, watching this saying, get them, man. I love that. It's all these
Molly
stories.
Moose. Oh, look at that. Love you guys. Hey, love you too.
Oh, we love you, Mom. You know what? It's a lot of storms in different areas. So didn't someone else say they're in what area? And now Colorado? Lots of storms.
We've had some unusual storms recently. We haven't had one in the last couple of days, but
yeah, but strange ones like
strange is right. There is, let's see. I want to show this. I have to show this because somebody asked me about this not too long ago. We were talking about eclipses and blah, 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 especially lunar eclipses. And for those who don't know, lunar eclipses where theoretically the scientists tell us, the narrative puppets tell us that is when the Earth gets between the sun and the moon. So when the Earth gets between the sun and the moon, then the moon gets blocked out. So it gradually gets blocked out, and then over time it becomes, black circle. So I'm going to play, this is like 8 minutes, but I'm going to fast forward to like the 7-minute mark because it'll state something that's pretty obvious and that I've known for a while, but I'm glad that they stated it, which kind of disproves eclipses, I guess. So let's, yeah.
I just want
boy.
So if any of you, this is John Levy. If you don't follow his channel, he's got some really good stuff on here.
Lately, I loved him.
So let's get to about the 7-minute-ish mark.
I love his monotone voice. It's very relaxing. And his sense of humor, his dry humor. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting.
Because he talks, it reminded me of Jason Bashir's and the cycles and stuff like that, like the 138-year cycles, because they talk about it in this about lunar cycle. Like if you were able to figure out X number of these, they loop. Like you can figure out when the next one was exactly. So let's see here. Hold on.
The Yellow Emperor, who overnight brought all these sciences and wisdom to China, or Tartaria, as it was before China. As we can predict with enough accuracy. And the truth, if you collect the calendars of when the Earth is between the following of the eclipses, and each year they can be organized into a table. After examining the table, the observer will soon realize that there are cycles of eclipses that are repeated. When reaching eclipse number 19 or 20, they will see that it's a repetition of the first eclipses on the table. So following this method will be very easy to predict similar future eclipses.
All right, starting here.
Is formed when the Earth is between the sun and the moon, is what they tell us. The Earth then casts a shadow on the moon, thus causing the eclipse. But this explanation has already been refuted by Frederick Henry Cook. In his book, The Terrestrial Plane, he writes, according to the new theory, the false one, a lunar eclipse occurs when the sun and Earth and moon are in a straight line. But it's documented that since the 15th century, more than 50 eclipses have occurred while both the sun and moon were still visible above the horizon. In other words, the sun and the moon were visible at the same time in the sky while the moon was eclipsed. And this is the kind of...
like right here.
Oh,
50
wow.
times documented.
Oh, wow.
See how the moon is being eclipsed?
Yeah.
The
Look
sun
at
is still visible and the moon is still visible. The earth is
Oh.
not in the picture. You're on the earth looking at both of them.
Oh,
So
boy.
the earth is clearly not blocking the moon.
Uh-oh. They got caught again.
50 times that they've documented where the moon and the sun are visible on the horizon together at the same time during an eclipse,
That's
a lunar
amazing.
eclipse.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Look at how the moon even casts light on the water.
Yeah, isn't that like it's like the sun's reflecting it onto the water, like it's reflecting it onto the moon, onto the water kind of thing, or it's giving off its own light.
Oh, boy. Wow.
Let's see. Edgy says it's the plasma that blocks the sun, but we've been so lied to, we don't know shiz. Molly's like, uh-oh.
Yeah, uh-oh, Molly. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
More lies they've told us. And they get
So
caught.
for your pals that talk about lunar eclipses and stuff like that and how special they are, there's been at least 50 times where it's been documented that the moon and the sun were visible at the same time during the eclipse. So, which kind of poo-poos the theory that the earth is in between them to cause the eclipse.
It really does. I don't know how
Psych.
you could possibly.
Psych.
Yeah, how could anyone say that at this point? Like all the people that are propping up that lie, those are the people I really have a problem with, like pilots and things. How can they?
There's some pretty honest pilots though. They may not just come out and say things, but when you ask them directly certain things, they'll tell you. That's
Really?
how. Again, I'm not going in the whole flat Earth thing or not. That kind of
No,
stuff.
I know. I hear you, but I'm glad that you have run across some. I have only had pilot friends unfriend me. And so
Really?
that's why I have a little bit of a issue. Like,
Well, they're regular people. So you got both schools and pilots too. You've got the narrative puppets, and then you've got the people that care about freedom and truth and that kind of stuff. So
true. Yeah.
there was a pilot recently that was asked directly, because according to having a globe or round Earth,
Mm-hmm.
as a pilot, you would always have to be adjusting basically to fly down a little bit every
True.
so often, or else you would just fly off into space. Like you would just like if you were to just go straight, you would literally, so you always have to.
Yeah. How could they do it like without that kind of navigation? Is impossible to fly, like you said, downward. Like, how do you do that without going out?
Right. So they asked the pilot, and because they obviously use autopilot and that kind of stuff. And I can't remember who asked the question, but it was somebody kind of famous.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Come on, do you guys have to like consciously, maintain or fly down every so often or angle down to to keep with the curvature of the Earth kind of thing on long flights?" And they just looked at him. He's like, "No,
Uh-oh.
nope, never have." And
Interesting. Well, that's good that some are telling the truth.
I still ascribe to the fishbowl theory / realm theory, but
I kind of like that fishbowl when
terrarium, whatever you want to call it.
Terrarium. I like that.
Julie, I don't know. It says, there was a reflection on the water of both the sun and the moon.
Yeah, I saw, and the moon's reflection looked longer, didn't it, to you?
It looked a little longer and narrower.
Yeah.
Yeah, Molly, that damn globe. That's right.
Oh boy, exactly.
All right, so let's end on some funny stuff. I got plenty today, man. I'm telling you.
Yes. Okay.
I'm telling you. Yeah, Alyssa Milano, she's one of those rocket scientists who likes the race baiting thing. So she recently said the red MAGA head is the new white hood, meaning like the Ku Klux Klan.
Is she still on Twitter? Because they would
She's-
light her up on Twitter, I know, last year.
She looks like she doesn't get much sleep. So
She's such
Anyway.
a disappointment. Remember, she was so cute on that show when she was.
oh jeez, don't
Who
even bring
knew
that
she
up.
was gonna?
Oh,
But
jeez.
God only knows what happened to that kid on those shows. Oh boy, this one. Oh my God.
Sorry, language.
Look at how the guys are looking at her. Oh my gosh, she's so embarrassing. She's so embarrassing. Whoa. That's funny.
Hey, Julie says, no, I mean, maybe the sun was behind the moon and was reflecting down on an angle to the left. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But the idea, though, is that they were both in the sky at the same time, both visible. I'm not worried about the reflections on the water, but
at the same
yes.
time, like you said, without the Earth being supposedly in the middle,
yes.
where we've always felt we were in the
Thank you.
middle of everything.
Thank you.
Uh-oh.
If you guys haven't seen this video, I'm not even gonna say anything about it. Just enjoy the memes.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. President. Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie?
Oh, my goodness.
She looks fine to hear.
Oh wow. This is
Yes, this is a real person. But anyway,
whoa. How embarrassing.
and if you don't know about the Nord Stream pipeline, then you won't get this one. But
That's terrible.
Joseph and I did a whole show on this almost on Thursday.
Uh-huh.
Okay, thank you. Everybody under 15, come here. Okay, thank you.
Unbelievable. Wow. Unreal.
Literally the clown world we live in right now.
Right. Unbelievable. I
This
didn't know
this one's pretty damn funny.
What are here?
Read the top. It's like,
Are you kidding? That's great. That's over in the UK?
I love that somebody came up with this dude named Tyron
That's so
or
brilliant.
Tyrone. They uploaded her soul to a kiosk and now she has to take burger orders for eternity. I love that.
They've lost the narrative for her legacy. Have you noticed? It's so many jokes. It's like they've lost. Oh gosh. Oh my God. He really
Kind of loud. I didn't realize it was that loud.
that kid's
Yeesh.
face
I
was
guess.
horrified.
This is not so much a meme, but as a point of understanding for people that may not know.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Very weird. Very weird. They look like they could be sisters, to be honest.
I know that's kind of weird, but I think the connection just was kind of eerie. Like
Very
Joe Biden's
eerie.
first wife mysteriously died
They
in a car
look like
crash.
they have the
Yeah.
same eyes almost and smile.
And
They
then
look
Princess-
the same. Is she playing the same role?
No, this is what's her name? This is Charles's wife.
I know, but I'm saying could Joe
I
will
I
be
get what
playing that role. I'm saying, for the ones that believe in playing different roles, isn't that's a doppelganger? Oh no.
And I hate to say it, but man, the Puerto Ricans always get the shaft whenever it comes to hurricanes and stuff like that, and money and whatever else. This one I'm not going to play this one because this won't make sense to anybody that hasn't watched The Rings of Power. So I'm not even going to play that one.
It's called The Rings of Power.
It's based on The Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
It's like the prequel.
Oh,
So if you read the Silmarillion and stuff like that, you would understand what's going on in the movie.
Okay. Is it going to be out soon?
It's out now. It's on like episode 6 or 7 or something like that.
Oh, gotcha.
But I'm sure at least most of you, hopefully maybe all of you know the Game of Thrones. So maybe at least you'll understand the characters in this one. Hopefully, maybe.
I haven't seen Game of Shows. I know Thrones. I know you're not surprised. I'm behind on that too.
All right, we'll skip that one too. So.
Oh no, don't skip it. Everybody else knows about it.
Imagine a war in which the majority of one side didn't know they were at war, ridiculed those that did, and were blindly obedient to their enemy.
Whoa, what a position.
And God bless Italy. I say this on every show, but the people of Italy have spoken, and the right person was elected, and she is going to do an amazing job for Italy, and these people are losing their minds over it.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Yikes. Is that her? Oh, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Is this?
This is Jacinda Ardern. She's like the Prime Minister of New Zealand.
Oh,
I
okay.
I shouldn't say she.
Oh, really? Are you misgendering?
As Austin Powers would say, that's a man, baby.
Really? This is crazy. She's of New Zealand?
Yes, this is a well-known fact. It's just
wow, this is bizarre.
Just like the big Mike deniers. Anyway, for a lady, she's packing some serious heat. So let's just put it that way.
This is so weird. What a world. Oh my God. Lives matter. You're the racist. Oh, wow.
Now it says lives matter. If you need a color in front of it, of those two words, you're the racist. Mm-hmm. We're Americans. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Again, not so much a meme, but
right. It's definitely. Oh no 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 no.
What's that?
I can't.
Chick's name, like she played that 200-year-old flute, like with some kind of big deal, and it's like, you know what?
She's always showing her butt.
Speaking of old photographs or old paintings,
that's a what is it? Doppelganger.
Doppelganger.
That's crazy. Are you kidding me?
This is a scary picture, actually. If you like, besides Lori Lightfoot, look at this dude right here.
Yeah, it's whoa.
Like, what is this dude? I mean, look at this. This is like creepy stuff.
Oh, wow.
Meathead, 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 the meathead, meathead, the meathead, the meathead, meathead, the meathead, 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 meathead. You are a meathead. And meathead, dead from the neck up. Meathead.
Wow.
Me and the boys sending memes by telegraph after a big tech censors all platforms.
I love it.
I had to think about that for a minute. God, can you send a meme through telegraph? I was like, maybe we would try it, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'd pull it off somehow.
Somehow. And that's like what we would look like. Except, we'd have our top hats, of course, just kind of. Look at Molly.
Make him stop. We're gonna have nightmares for sure.
Ми робимо свій визначальний крок. Виступити заявку України на вступ у пришвидшеному порядку в НАТО.
Oh my God. This guy is such a clown. All this pomp and ceremony.
He's literally a walking meme.
He likes, oh, I love this. My crane.
Ukraine, more like my crane, right? Am I right?
My crane.
Another Nord Stream. Again, if you don't know Nord Stream incident, then you may not get this one. They basically got this German kid in the hospital on life support. I won't survive without Nord Stream 2. And you got the United States over here consoling him and then pulling the plug.
Wow. Yep. Yep.
The United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. And it is.
That is like one of the most patent lies ever.
Greatest arrogance of all, save the planet.
And to save the planet.
What? Are these fucking people kidding me? Save the planet? We don't know how to take care of ourselves yet.
We're saving the planet with a record $360 billion.
I'm tired of these white, liberal, bourgeois, liberal white people who think the only thing wrong with this planet is there aren't enough bicycle paths.
To save the planet and generating jobs and cleaner air and cleaner water and jobs and security for our country.
The planet has been through a lot worse than us for a long time. Been through earthquakes, volcanoes, plate tectonics, continental drifts, solar flares, sunspots, magnetic storms, the magnetic reversal of the poles, bombardments for hundreds of thousands of years by comets and asteroids and meteors, sandstorms, erosion of all kinds, cosmic radiation, worldwide fires, worldwide floods, recurring ice ages.
But I'm not walking away from $360 billion. In support for saving the planet for our children.
Planet isn't going anywhere. We are.
That's great.
The look on her face, like when she says $360 billion.
Yeah, she's so soulless and she's drunk. I mean, it's obvious this woman's drunk. I can see it now. I never saw it until now. It's like, oh my gosh, she is drunk.
We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway.
It's too many memes. They can't survive this in November. They can't. This is going to be so funny. Oh, no. Gross. Gross.
If you don't know the whole "she was 12, I was 30," you better get used to knowing it because
they can't possibly spin that. What have they tried to say about that?
Stephen Fry hit this on the head. This is not so much a meme, but a statement that I love this statement. It's now very common to hear people say, "I'm rather offended by that," as if that gives them certain rights. It's no more than a whine. It has no meaning. It has no purpose. It has no reason to be respected as a phrase. I'm offended by that. Well, so fucking what?
Oh, I love it.
I love this. Stephen Fry, kudos to you. I'd never heard of you until now.
So true. Wow.
Yes, South Park does Nancy well. That's right, Molly.
So they stop talking. Wow. The obsession is deep.
Yes.
This is brutal. They cannot prop this thing up anymore.
And that meme is more true than people realize. I guarantee it.
Oh boy. Very true.
Let me be clear. If you're in a state where hurricanes often strike, like Florida or the Gulf Coast or into Texas. A vital part of preparing for hurricane season is to get vaccinated now. Everything is more complicated if you're.
Yep, vital part of preparing for a hurricane is to get vaccinated, motherfuckers.
He didn't really say that, did he?
He did. He
And
said
he
it not
did
only.
it.
I swear to God, this is real, actually.
He didn't see. I can't believe what's real anymore. I feel like you've done this, John.
Everything is more
did this one.
complicated.
You went to.
Hurricane or natural.
I am going to do, speaking of which, it's called Lip Service. I have a new segment to the show called Lip Service.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to take news clips from the week that are so gaslighting. I'm going to take out the audio and I'm going to do the voices for the people doing the newscast.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to flip the scripts and I'm going to make it so how much they love America and democracy and how much they love blah, blah, blah. So
that's going to be great. I can't believe he just said that. Like, it feels like you edited that. Horrible. He recently said this, John?
You can't make this up.
Why do I have a hard time believing it, even though I know it's ridiculous? It's like, he didn't just do that. They haven't impeached him. Nope, there are no articles of impeachment yet on him. Are there?
It's not a game or anything, but in case some of you are wondering, the conspiracy theorists are up 17-0.
Hey, you guys, are they trying to impeach JoJo Magoo?
No.
Unreal. That's really weird.
We did it, Joe.
Again, this is a Nord Stream pipeline. So if you don't know the Nord Stream pipeline,
We did it, Joe.
You know what? I'm convinced you all, I've said it, I think, on Karen's thing. I'm convinced that Kamala is on the strongest California Kush available to humans. I swear, it's the only way I can understand her. She's so high out of her mind that
they're keeping her hidden now. Like they won't let her out.
I think she stays high. Like it's stuff that we can't even get our hands on. It's that strong. That's funny.
I always loved the wrestling Joe Rogan one. That I like that one gets used a lot. So, and for those of you used shopping carts before, you'll get this.
Oh gosh.
Always that one damn wheel.
Always. I always get that cart too.
And this is a fellow patriot. He made this kind of a spoof song. It's very well done. So take a listen.
All around me, unfamiliar faces, lawless places, basket cases. They wanna fight, but they need safe spaces. Say we must change. They say we must change. So division in Christian nations, a new world order, a new world order. Subject our children to woke exploitations. Always grooming, always grooming. It's a cult of woke religion, not tradition.
Don't want to interrupt the song, but I'm going to. But in case you guys missed it, and this is why most people are so mad. People know what goes on at these stupid drag shows for kids at libraries and crap like that. If you missed it, I'm going to highlight it because these groomers, yes, YouTube, I said groomer. See this young lady over here to the right? Young man, I should say, with his green fish bottom.
Yeah.
See this little girl here?
Our children to woke
Oh, what the heck? Oh my God. Oh,
This is the shit that they tell you is not happening at these things.
God. Oh my God. That is so. I don't know what I just saw. What is this here?
Is not bad. The dreams of our dying are the best they've ever had. They say we need a reset and lead the weak astray. Reason does not guide us. It's a very, very bad world.
And yes, that dude is the head of Department of Energy or whatever.
Wow.
Thanks to communities, it's bad.
Anyway, kudos to that gentleman. And one final one for the road here. And of course, it's Zelensky. Of course, it is.
Ми робимо свій начальний крок.
Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be
У
here.
пришвидшеному порядку в НАТО.
Wow. We're here, really. We really are, huh?
Yeah, we're here. And so there you go.
Wow.
Yes, Assistant Director of Health, Leanne. That's right. For the other person of interest. But yes, total freaks in this administration. Not to get off the the tiny rails that we were on to begin with. So this train went off the tracks real easy. All it took was a twig instead of a log. But anyway, I hope you guys got something out of this. Not so much the memes, but you know what I'm saying. Like the rest of the show. And I hope you don't mind the combination of the exploring the Matrix part and the laughter part. Because I think right now that people need to laugh. People need to laugh. And I don't care how dark it seems, you still need to laugh. You still have to find funny things going on. And there's plenty of them. Believe me, this clown world, there's plenty of stuff to find funny.
It really is. It's a lot.
If you look at it, there's just, how could it not be an act? How could it not be a performance? How could it not be theater?
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Take it for what you will. But I hope you guys got something.
I am enjoying the laughing and the education. It's like having fun while you're learning. And we've got a community and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you guys are amazing. I appreciate you coming on and spending time 2 hours and 22 minutes and 50 seconds with us. And I know there's other stuff you could be doing, but I really appreciate it. I know Jennifer appreciates it. And if you haven't been following Jennifer, I know a lot of you follow Jennifer, but if you haven't, she's putting on some good ones. And I think we gave her some fuel for the fire earlier today or earlier this show.
Absolutely.
What was it again now? Geez.
That was, wait a minute. Hold. You know what? I've had a long day. I think I'm Molly with the spoon.
Yes, with the spoon. That's right.
The spoon.
Yes, weirdest freaking movie ever watched. That's right.
Yes.
Actually, it's like a combination of a Mel Brooks and Monty Python movie kind of thing. You know, it's just
Right.
I can't even.
Oh,
I can't even. I feel horrible for some people. I truly feel sad for some people.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
I can't, like, one part of me wants to console them and tell them everything's going to be all right. But on the other hand, it's like, at this point, if you don't know this is all BS, there's nothing I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Just, I can't.
It's hard. It's like hard
Where's
to
it at?
imagine.
I wanted to, might as well show it. Where'd it go? One moment. Oh, here it is. That's the news segment.
Great.
Lip service.
That's a great logo. You do great logos. I love that.
Julie says I have this look all the time, so that's why I use this picture.
That's a great look, isn't it? It's like you're saying, "Are you serious?"
What you talking about?
It's the perfect look for everything going on right now. That's a great.
So, so look for those, because the idea is I'm trying to disconnect a little more from the political stuff.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Because I'm
you're pivoting, as they say, pivoting a little bit.
I'm tapping out for a while.
Yeah, it's very aggravating because it's a slow process. Like, it seems to get heated up in November, right? Or a little bit in October. Until that time, it's just aggravation. I can imagine being. Yes. I stay out of the loop of it just to make fun of it enough.
I keep involved enough to communicate with some of my friends and on Telegram and Truth Social and that kind of stuff. Because I know there's people that follow me that want stuff that's going on. So I'll post things or forward things from places I find.
Right.
But I won't engage in those kind of shows on a regular basis. I do one on Thursday morning with Joseph, but that's more of a recap kind of thing. And
that's different.
But I want to do funnier things. I want to push the laughter part a little bit more. So the lip service was kind of the child of that.
Okay,
and
very good.
I like, well, you know how I am when I'm describing old pictures and I get into character sometimes, or I'll like, so I want to take these CNN clowns and these MSDNC clowns and some of these politicians and stuff like that, and take blatant gaslighting segments from the week.
That's good.
And just redo them.
I love it.
Just flip the script on them and then put them out there for the world to enjoy. And
that's a great idea. Look at where all of them have fallen. Like, can you imagine Don Lemon? Never thought they'd get rid of. I'm waiting for Joy Reid. You guys know I'm waiting for Joy Reid. When Joy
Reid, and then you've got
I'm gonna be
Mad Cow. I can't wait for Mad Cow to finally.
Mad Cow and Joy. I will be doing a dance. Trust me, I will be dancing for those two.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
That's great. I love it. Well, thank you, John. Thank you, everybody. Love you all.
Yes, guys. Thank you so much. And Jennifer, as always, thank you. I love doing this show with you because I hate doing it by myself, and you're like the perfect partner for this. So, you get it. You get it. You get it.
I try. But thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, John. Blessings.
Let's try next week. Let's do a Jennifer next week. I'm going to, at some point during the show, put the invite link. So if any of you want to join in, we can just have like an open discussion. We don't have to have like a specific topic to start out with. I can have up to 10 people total. So like Karen, Julie, anybody that wants to jump in, we can just, we'll have a free for all. And we'll do on the fly research. So if you guys bring up something that I'm not familiar with or whatever, we'll do a little digging and then we'll talk about it. So
I love it. Look how the Smithsonian happened on the fly.
That's it. That's what it was. The Smithsonian.
Oh, that's what it was. Oh my gosh. I'm going to be looking into the Smithsonian. Whoa. Okay. Let's see what I dig up.
I have a feeling he's going to end up being one of them guys, like that guy that with the book. He's like a master of all trades, and he's like a businessman, a lawyer, and a doctor, and all these other things. He travels around and seemingly has all this money for whatever. And
bottomless bank accounts. Those guys, right?
And he's an author.
Yeah. Oh, they are all authors, poets. And real estate holders, like lots of land holdings. Very interesting. So yeah, I'm going to look into it. I'll keep you. Yeah, robber baron. Yep, trust busters. So yeah, I'll keep you posted.
All righty.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Bye, John.
Yes.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Love you all. Have a good night. And until next time, stay frosty, friends.
All righty. You too.